Hello students, let's learn the second chapter of the 6th class polity, diversity and discrimination. Here in this chapter I will explain the important topics only what is related to the all government exams. Now we will discuss about the discrimination here because about diversity we had discussed in our first chapter only. In detail, I had explained about the diversity. Here, we will discuss about the discrimination. First of all, in discrimination is nothing but, for example, take one example. Imagine two students come for admission for a school. One is rich, one is poor. If the school rejects the poor student only because he is a poor, this is known as discrimination. I hope you understood. Let's imagine two students will come to the school. In that two students, one is rich, one is poor. If school rejects the poor student only because he is poor, then it is known as discrimination. Now let's discuss the meaning of the discrimination. Discrimination is nothing but unfair treatment of individuals based on stereotypes. Discrimination is nothing but here treating people unfairly. If you treat another people unfairly, that is known as discrimination. Here, for example, the basics of discrimination it is based on actually the discrimination is based on the religion, caste, language, gender, economic status only. Here we will learn the basics of the discrimination. The basics of the discrimination it is based on the religion, caste, language, gender, economic status, etc. Example. Here we will discuss some examples about discrimination. Actually, discrimination examples what are denial to Dalits entering to temples. In olden days, the Dalits are not allowed into the temples because they are Dalits. So, on the based on the discrimination only, they are not allowed to the temples in olden days. Or tribal people, tribal girls not allowed in schools, etc. Tribal girls are not allowed in the schools in olden days. This is known as discrimination. Discrimination is nothing but treating the people unfairly. Examples are nothing but girls are not allowed to play the cricket, Dalits are not allowed in the temple, tribal girl denied to entry in the school. Now let's discuss what is stereotypes. Stereotypes. Here stereotypes is nothing but a fixed over a simplified image of a particular group. Here stereotype is nothing but it means you only decide about someone without knowing about them. Without knowing about them, we can if we decide about someone that is known as stereotype. Stereotype is nothing but you decide about someone without knowing about them. A fixed over simplified image of a particular group is known as stereotypes. Actually, the examples of stereotypes: boys don't cry. It is known as gendered stereotypes. These are the examples for the stereotypes. All members say boys don't cry. That is known as gender stereotypes. Someone will say Muslims are aggressive. That is the religious stereotype. Here, stereotype is nothing but you can decide about someone without knowing about them. Here, you can decide about someone. The boys don't cry. It is known as gender stereotype. The Muslims are aggressive. It is a religious stereotype. I hope you understood what is stereotypes. You can decide about someone without knowing about them. It is known as stereotypes. Now let's discuss about the inequality. Inequality is nothing but not being treated equally. Not being treated equally. It is known as inequality. Here. Now let's discuss why inequality occurs. Here, first one is historical reason. Because on the based of the caste system, religious divisions, colonial policies of Britishers, etc. Based on the historical reasons, the inequality occurs. Actually, mainly we will see the inequality is based on the only caste system. Because in the caste system they were divided into many types equally, like Vaishyas, Sudras, and Brahmins, Kshatriyas, etc. The, the inequality is based on the caste system, religious divisions, Hindu, Muslim, Jainism, Buddhism, like that, and colonial policies of Britishers, etc. I hope you understood on it, how the inequality was occurred on the historical reason. The next one is cultural superiority. Cultural superiority is nothing but here they will imagine about in their self only. Cultural superiority is nothing but here they will imagine about in their self only. Cultural superiority is nothing but here one's culture is better than one's culture is better than the others. That is known as cultural superiority. No, the third one is institutional reinforcement. The institutional reinforcement describes the discrimination in schools offices, cinemas, etc. These are known as institutional reinforcement. The discrimination is in schools, offices, cinema, etc. Here the inequality is occurs based on the historical reason, cultural superiority, and institutional reinforcement. I hope you understood very clearly. Next, we will discuss in the chapters few important articles. Now let's discuss some important articles. In that, first of all, the important article in this chapter is Article 17. Article 17 is nothing but it is a abolishment of untouchability. Article 17 describes about abolishment of untouchability. Actually, that is Article 17 is related to caste discrimination. Now we will discuss here the Article 17 example is nothing but no one can stop any other person before from entering to a temple. The example describes here no one can stop another person from entering a temple. It is the example for the Article 17. Article 17 is nothing but abolishment of untouchability. It is related to the caste discrimination. Now let's discuss about Article 14. Article 14 of the Indian Constitution, it describes about equality before law and equal protection. Here Article 14 describes all members as treated as equal before the law, including our Prime Minister, President, all members, ministers, all members are treated equally before the law. Equal protection of law is nothing but for every person in the India, the law will give the protection for them. It is known as Article 14 of the Indian Constitution. Here the policies, this policy must treat everyone equal. Here the Article 14, this example is nothing but this policy must treat everyone equal. It is known as Article 14 of the Indian Constitution. Now let's discuss another one article. Article 21 Class A in this chapter. Article 21 Class A describes about right to education. Here right to education means here children of 16 to 14 age will be provided free education for the poor people. I hope you understood. Right to education is nothing but here children 16 to 14 age will be provided free education for poor people. It is known as right to education. Article 21 class here it will describe about right to education. Right to education is nothing but children 16 to 14 age will be provided free education for the poor people. It will describe about the right to education. Actually this Article 21 class A it was added by the 86th Constitutional Amendment Act 2002 in and 11th fundamental duty was also added under the 86th Constitutional Amendment Act 2002 only. In my previous video at the 2002 I have mistakenly written 2022. Please correct that. Now this Article 21 Class A it was added by 86th Constitutional Amendment Act 2002. I hope you understood very clearly about this chapter. and I had explained what is important for this chapter only. Those topic only I had discussed here, which are important for the all competitive exams. If you have any doubts, kindly keep the messages. I will give the comments for that. I hope you are enjoying this explanation. Like the video, comment your state name. I will reply to everyone. Now, kindly share my previous kindly watch my previous video and share these two videos for your friends. These will be helpful for them for 6th class NCRT. I had explained very clearly manner. I hope my terminology is very clear for you. Thanks everyone. Kindly subscribe, share and comment.